its producer.
Another pleasure Thursday to each and everyone listening and watching us live. This is MFM TV, where we set the agenda project The Truth, situated in the premises of the SS Hotel Akpete in Ibadan. I welcome you to the last episode of Burning Issue of the year 2023. We sincerely appreciate you, for staying tuned, for gluing together with MFM TV, for staying and then for your support with Burning Issue since the beginning of this year, most especially till now. Olusola Ayobami is my name, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be more interesting than ever before. If you are listening to us on our Facebook, on our app, presently, don't forget, you can download our app, or actually I know you've had it before, but tell somebody to tell another person that our app is available on Play Store. And then similarly, do quick join us on our YouTube page now. Presently, AIM-FM TV. On our YouTube page, you will be watching us live and direct as we are doing in the studio presently. Do well to join us live and direct on our YouTube page at AIM-FM TV. Where are we going to today? Let me extend my sincere greetings, saying compliments of the season. I'm still expecting my packages anyway from you. But let's get on straight to the business. When we talk about compliment of the season, a lot is happening presently in Nigeria. I don't want to use the language "a lot has happened" because a lot is still happening in Nigeria. When we talk about the skyrocketing price of commodities in the market, as far as the festivities are concerned, when we talk about the Christmas festivals and that of a New Year festival, that is far approaching. But we believed, or we thought, that things will get better during after the Christmas festival, but quite unfortunate, the sellers, the marketers, they are still lamenting about the fact that people did not come out to buy market. No one patronized them. All of them are just doing yourself. About a couple of days ago, news came out saying the federal government workers, they celebrated their own Christmas without payment of salary December. I asked myself, how do you want them to survive? Those people, they have their own family. Imagine a family of 4, a family of 5. Even though if it's a family of 1, a family is a family. Even though if it is newly wedded couple, family still remains family. And then they would have planned, so far we know that they have everything, their lives and everything on what? On that salary. They've been expecting it. If you say, okay, me too, my own budget for December, this one we go for this, that one we go for that. Well, but quite unfortunate, the federal government workers, they were unable to celebrate their festival, when we talk about Christmas, with their December payment. Well, I don't know how they celebrated it, but I know something for sure. Christmas has gone and Christmas has gone. Christmas has come and Christmas has gone, even though we are still in the midst of celebration. But as I do say, do what you know that you can at least control. Don't do anything beyond your power, because if you go out there to go and do what? To go and get busy, it won't be funny that even though when your salary lands, your salary may not be able to cover up all those debts that you've acquired over there. But even if it is a fried snail, use it to celebrate your festival. Even though if it is crab, alakan, use it to celebrate your new year. And new year, it's not, the year is new, but it's not the first time that we celebrate the new year. We'll be eating most of these foods before the new year celebration. Well, maybe it's going to be a discussion for another day. What does it mean to celebrate a festival? Is it because of the food we eat or what? No, there is something, one significant thing that usually come out, or that makes festivals or celebration. It's not about the food. Something significant must attach to it. And if you want to call in 0815919447, but it's not going to be a lone man show, because I have loads of people that are at the other end, and I'm sure they've been waiting for me. Let's get down straight to the street and let's hear what people, one or two things that people would like to tell us. Don't go anywhere. It's still on issues. Cool.
Ebi tí ń pa wá àrọ̀wọ́ àjèjì. Èmi sì lè yẹ́ dẹ̀ mú wa. A sì lè yọ́ dẹ̀ àríkọ́dẹ̀ o. Wọ́n bá wa dẹ̀ o. Wọ́n jọ lórí ọlọ́run. Àfọlọ́run ẹ̀wọ̀n ibi ò ní pa wọ́n o.
Lọ́dọ̀ àti bí ìgbà wo lẹ ti ṣàkíyèsí pé kí ni wọ́n tẹ́pẹ́ àwọn èèyàn sáà wọ́n ń dùn sọ̀rọ̀ jẹun ni.
Láti Tinubu ti wọlé ni. Láti ìgbà Tinubu ti wọlé àríyá àríkọ́dọ̀. Ó sì jẹ́ ń dìsí lókun lọ sí ìgbà tó kàṣẹ báyìí ló ṣe é sí. Bàbá yáwó àríkójọ. Àríkójọ. Ebi ń pa wá. Oúnjẹ àárọ̀ la fi ń ṣe tọ̀sán. Tọ̀sán la fi ń ṣe talẹ́. Tó ti yẹ ikọ̀ sọ́rọ̀ àdé. Lórí transport kan ti ẹ̀ lé jù. Tó ti yẹ yẹn jọ. Náà ní dáàmú ọmọ fèmí pa wá o. Bàbá wa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀kún láàbùjẹ. Àmì Jésù. Àmì o.
Mo rí pé gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe yọ́múyọ́mú lọ́dọ̀ lásìkò kọ̀ọ̀kan tí ṣe ọdún ìbílẹ̀ ní ẹ báwo ni wọ́n máa sọ báwo ni àwọn èèyàn ti jáde.
Ìjọba àwọn jẹ́ wọ́n jáde ní òjáde wọ́n jẹ́ òṣù. Òjáde wà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ṣe dá ní. Wọ́n lọ bọ̀ wá kọ́kọ́ wá tu Nàìjíríà lára o káwọn tó rọ́bẹ̀ náà kọ́kọ́ wá mú àkànṣe sí i. Èyí ti lágbára pọ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀dá lálẹ́lẹ̀. Ààrẹ rò kọ́lọ̀ mú wọn bóde o. Owó náà sì ní ọdún pọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ kan ó pọ̀ níyà. Gbogbo ẹ̀dá ọba yìí náà wo gbogbo ẹ̀ kó ṣe rí. Ṣé kó ṣe yẹ kó rí mi? Tábà wọ bí ọdún mẹ́ta sẹ́yìn ní ìsìn. Lásìkò ìgbà àwọn tó rán ta bọ́kẹ́tì. Àlùbọ́sà àwọn ọmọ ọkọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́ra wọn. Wọ́n ò bóde ọkọ̀ tó wọ́pọ̀ tó wọ́n mọ́ orí ọkọ̀ náà. Àwọn ìjọba wa kọ́ máa wá àkọsẹ̀ sí o. Arò ní ní wá wa lóòtù Nàìjíríà o. Àlùbọ́sà. Èmi kálùbọ́sà.
Bí àpẹẹrẹ atatẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ló lè ní àtẹ́lẹ̀ sí.
Tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ara 30,000 ara 40 àmọ́ ní ìsìn báyìí 20-25 bá a ṣe rà ní bá tó wà náà ní oko náà ní gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní bá wálẹ̀ kí wọ́n bá wà láti tó tà irú èrè ojú.
Ètò ìṣàlàyé ni pé iye tẹ́ ń rà sí ó wálẹ̀.
Ó wálẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀
àmáwọn èèyàn
jáde
kí ló fà á.
owó ni bí Nàìjíríà ti ṣe rí yìí náà owó ẹ wá dákọ̀ mọ́ àbẹ̀jọba no pass kó mọ̀ jò wáyé o ọlọ́run já rògbò orí èmi pàdé o.
Ẹ ṣe kọ́ba. Kí ṣe ọ̀sán? Yẹ́sà, ẹ bá a dá fún ọmọ àwọn olóyè.
Lára pé jáde ní
báwo ni ọjà ṣe lásìkò?
ọ̀rọ̀ mi sáré àgbàdo òkú pẹ̀lú àìní ìlú tí a náà bọ̀rọ̀ ní kò àpò ẹ̀fọn apáyé kò jẹ́ ìlú àwọn ẹni ọlọ́mọdé àtúndó ní ẹ̀mọ́ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà ní ọlọ́mọdé
Ṣé pẹ̀lú pé bọ́ ti ṣe ń bọ́ ilé tó ṣe
orúkọ ẹ̀ gbogbo ìjọra wọn láti wọn gbádùn láti wọn rí ìṣọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ ọdún ààrẹ tí wọ́n lẹ́yìn ọdún náà ìjẹ́ ìlú abẹ́rẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ náà ìjẹ́ ìlú náà ìlú wa wọ́n sì fa ìpínlẹ̀ ìjọba ìjọba náà ní ìlú wa ọlọ́wà ní Nàìjíríà sí ojúkó nígbà láyé àwọn tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ọkọ̀ sí iṣẹ́ àdáyé sí wọ́n ti ṣàlàyé ìlú wa sí ẹ̀dáfẹ́ láti ọjọ́ láńkáròdì sọ̀rọ̀ fíìsì fún wa àyájẹ́ fún inú ìfọ́lọ́dún àti wáyé ẹ̀dáfẹ́.
Ben.
Okay. Báwo ni ọjà ṣe rí lónìí?
Ọjà ọdún o. Àti pa 5,000 gan látàárọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o.
Àwọn èèyàn wá ra jẹ.
Mọ̀ wá o. Nǹkan tí wọ́n sì.
Àti bí ọdún ṣe ń bọ̀ nísìnyí, ó yẹ káwọn èèyàn ti wá mọ ra jẹ kan lọ máa só mọ́lẹ̀ nílé wọn. Ṣé àwọn èèyàn tí máa wá?
Owó aṣọ làwọn èèyàn wá mọ̀ wá o.
Owó aṣọ náà wa mo ṣe bí ìtajẹ̀lú kọ̀ọ̀kan yẹ kó ṣáájú aṣọ táwọn ni.
Nǹkan táwọn èèyàn rò nìyẹn o. Mọ̀ kí n rò pé nǹkan tá a máa jẹ.
Àwọn adìẹ iṣẹ́ wọn gan ni ṣé wọ́n ti wọ́n ju tágbára àwọn èèyàn lè ká lọ.
Kò wọ́n jù ṣe bí 6,000 náà lẹ́yọ̀ kan.
Ṣé eléyìí tìsàlẹ̀ ní 6,000 ní àbí tókè?
Tìsàlẹ̀
ní 6,000. Àwọn tòkè yẹn ń kọ́?
4,000.
4,000. Àwọn èèyàn òde wá ra adìẹ náà.
Wọ́n wá.
Ẹ ṣe púpọ̀ ajé á máa wá.
Àmì o.
Dúpẹ́ o.
Báwo ni ọjà báwo ni gbogbo nǹkan?
Ẹ wo ọjà dùn lásìkò yìí everything ló wọ́n minerals yẹn ló lára 150 tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ dẹ̀ ní 100 naira ní tó ti di 250 ó dẹ̀ tún lọ sókè ní kì í ṣe pé ó ń wá sílẹ̀ ara tí ò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ èló là ń jẹ lórí ọjà sí kò sí owó èrè kankan lórí ọjà rárá.
Ṣèbí báwo ṣe ń wọ́n yẹn àwọn èèyàn sì ń rà wọ́n sì ń mú lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà.
Ṣẹ́gi òtítọ́ ni ṣùgbọ́n ẹlòmíì ó wù láti mú ṣùgbọ́n tó kó wọ́n láwọn ojú kò jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn gan fẹ́ súnmọ́ àwọn tó wù láti mú bí àwọn ọlọ́jà tẹ àjọ tajà ó wù wọ́n láti mú ṣùgbọ́n tó pọ̀ tí wọ́n jù kò jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn lè mú àwọn tó mú òpọ̀ nísìnyìí àwọn bíi kókì sí tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ 150 ni wọ́n sọ di 250 tó bá yá sí wọ́n máa padà sọ di 300 bá.
Ẹ ń ṣépè ní.
Èpè kọ́ ṣe bí nǹkan tá a bá rà la máa tà mi ò lè rà á sí ní 27 àbí 28 kí wá tà 250 láéláé nǹkan tí bá ti rà ni màá tà náà.
Èló lẹ wá ń gbé páàkì kan báyìí.
Páàkì kan sí tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ nígbà tá à ń dé páàkì kan 1.4 nítorí ó ti di 2.7 bá ṣe ra páàkì sí nìyẹn. ṣọ́wọ́ possible kí ra kan bóyá 2.9 sí 3,000 kí wá tà 250 kò lè work kì í ṣe ní apẹtẹ láti gbé bí ta ti ń gbé tún jìnnà máa wọ mọ́tò káàgán tó wá gèrè tiwa náà ṣe mọ̀ pé iṣẹ́ la máa ṣe ká tó rí a lè tà ní 250 o.
Kí wá ní ìmọ̀ràn tẹ́ fún àwọn ìjọba wa.
Ìmọ̀ràn tá fún àwọn ìjọba wa ní pé kó bá wa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ nírọ̀rùn kó bá wa jẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ bá ṣe fàárín àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà kò work kò ní wọ́n ní wá lára tó serious kó bá wa rọ gbogbo ẹ̀ kó dẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ everybody nígbà tí no cash wà everybody ló ń kú wọ́n dẹ̀ ti tú bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú oṣù àtúwọ̀ yìí wọ́n ní no cash sọ́fẹ́ pa wá tán ni.
Tí bá fẹ́ ra minerals ọ̀kan ṣe máa gba transfer.
Mi ò lè gbà ọ́ torí tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe transfer tẹ́ bá ti fi bóyá bí 100 naira sí àbí 50 naira mi ò lè gbà torí pé màá fẹ́ gbà jáde.
Ẹni sùn ẹ̀yin ta minerals ọ̀kan ní 250 tí máa fẹ́ ṣe transfer wà san 350.
Ẹ sọ 300 àbí 350 adẹ̀ máa rí gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹlòmíì 300 350 ó depend ẹlòmíì adẹ́ta kó pé 250 lòun máa san a máa wò ó pé kò sí nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe sí a máa gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni.
Ẹ ṣe gan ajá máa wá.
Àmín.
Báwo lọ jà? Yes ma. Inú mi kàn sí ajá máa wá. Ẹ rẹ̀ ní sí ẹ ní sòwò ṣọ́ọ̀tì náà sọ. Báwo ni ọjà?
Ọjà dọ́ọ̀ láì dúró. Ó yẹ ká ti máa ráhùn ó máa ti wá máa ra jọ sílẹ̀. Ìyàwó like bí lẹ́sẹ̀ tó láti ẹ̀ náà wọ́n ti ó lẹ̀ fún ọtí wọ́n ti káwọn èèyàn jáde.
Àbíṣe àlùsọ pé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba náà ti gbowó oṣù.
Ó lè bóyá àwọn náà nìkan àmọ́ pé ó jẹ́ rules máa fi ọ̀pọ̀ náà ó ń dọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyà ní ẹ̀sẹ̀ ìjọba. Ọdún tí ń pẹ́ Monday tó máa ń láti máa rí àṣà pé ọdún ìgbà tó ti máa rọ̀ sọ láti máa ta
Àti gbé àwọn kìíní sọ ti wálẹ̀ sí àbí bí a tó ń gbé bùbá àwọn èèyàn nínú.
Àpò wálẹ̀ sí o lọ́wọ́ sí ní everyday. Ó fún un tábàdà lẹ́nu ìpara fún máa lọ́ra lọ́la ìpara fún máa lọ́ra lọ́sọ̀ọ́la everyday lọ́wọ́ sí ó tẹ̀lé àwọn apprentices.
Ọ̀kẹ́ lónìí báàgì sọ́ọ̀dù.
Ṣé 5 kg?
5 kg, 10 kg. So how do you do it?
5 kg is 5,000. All my 10 kg is 9,000. I want 1 kg and 1,000. I get 1,000.
So what depends on the band you want? Ìwà ni àpẹẹrẹ ìgbà àwọn èèyàn tí ó sọ pé ìwé inú àti ìjọba àpapọ̀ ojú méjì.
Ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ àwọn ìjọba kan jù fún bàbá ó yẹ tẹ̀wọ́n àti bọ́dà kí ẹ̀sìn wọlé káwọn máa wọlé wọ́n tún bàbá jù wọ́n sábà máa kọ́ sí bọ́dà àìsí bọ́dà yẹn máa fẹ́ sí
Local rice ló wà lọ́jà àyà ló láti fún wa.
Yes, local rice ló ń rè lọ́wọ́ local rice ló ń rè lọ́wọ́ báyìí local rice.
Local rice ọ̀hún tà sí fúnra wa náà lẹ́ni wọ́n tà ní ẹ̀ńtà níbí èyí.
So local rice lọ́jà ń sọ pé why
Ìjọba tún wá sí bọ́dà lọ́tún owó imported rice wọlé jẹ́ oníbi 20,000 lẹ́fẹ́ ìjọba àmọ̀ ìjẹ́ yìí.
Ṣé imported yàtọ̀ lẹ́nu local lọ Nàìjíríà lọ ó yàtọ̀ àwọn máa ń kú bá tó gbó fọ́ imported lọ́ra fún ìlú ìjàmbára ilé ẹ̀kọ́ tó máa wò pé ìyàwó àti local rice ni wọ́n máa ń sọ chicken
tó dàbí imported.
díẹ̀ náà ló fún àyà lọ.
Ẹ ṣe ṣe ajá máa wá wà.
Gbogbo àtàwọn epo wọn gbogbo kan ló wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Ẹlòmíì wá tiẹ̀ pé kò tí ì jòǹjà rọ̀ kọ́lá pé kò tí ì mọ̀tò tí ó kọ̀ náà lọ. Bébí kan ti wẹ̀ wọ rí i. Ọ̀tẹ̀ ó ti jọ tẹ̀lé sí lórí. Ìdúrà
Ní ọ̀kan ló ní ẹgbẹ́ sí i.
ìjọba Tinubu yìí kò ṣe ìjọba dáadáa rárá dáadáa. Ìjọba èsì kò ṣe ìjọba dáadáa rárá. Ọba àwọn àkànṣe sí. Ọba àwọn àkànṣe sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ọkọ̀ kan ti wọ́n jù. Ó jẹ́ ti wọ́n jù kí ló dé tó fẹ́ pa wá ní. Tó fẹ́ pa wá tó Nàìjíríà ní tó fẹ́ ká máa kú pípípípí. Àbí ìyá di orí àná. Kí wọ́n lọ wá jẹ oúnjẹ wọn kò kán wọ́n. Wọ́n fẹ́ ẹjẹ́ ká rí o, ẹjẹ́ ká rí i. Ọkọ̀ sí ìwọ́n.
Nǹkan ti bàjẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, ó ti bàjẹ́.
Ó kàn ó ń sáré sami ni. Ó fẹ́ gba èrè lẹ́yìn. Ó dá wà láàyè yìí. Ìgbọ́ padà dá.
Àlẹ́ tí ó ń sọ ẹ̀kọ́ níbẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n tún ní ẹ̀rọ ìlú. Adọ́síkò ti wà yé ẹ̀jẹ̀ bí yìí kí ìlú yìí báyìí. Sábà tó lè wá ìyẹn. Àtijọ́ tí mo fẹ́ fẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìtìwọ́ ọdún yìí.
58 ní ráìsì
ọmọ ń wúwo àwọn òye lára ráìsì. ó jẹ́ bímọ ó jẹ́ wà sanwó gbogbo ẹ̀ lówó ó jẹ́ wà everybody ọmọ àtìyàwó ìjà ló lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sí fáwọn. àwọn tó bá jẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dù. èmi everybody ráìsì ìyàwó èèyàn ìjọba àbáwọ̀ owó gbogbo ẹ̀ lówó. àbáwọ̀ lọ́jà àròyé àrí ìkẹ́gidi rà lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ ìgbẹ́ fífi ṣe dá. àtúntúnyẹ̀sọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àtúrọ́jà tà.
Mami, tí máa ń ra ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yìí tí máa ń ṣe transfer sí ìjọba máa tà.
àwọn bá wọn fẹ́ fún àgbàdo àbúkọ tàbí àtàkùn owó gbà. ọkọ̀ ọjọ́ báńkì náà ọjọ́ báńkì náà owó ẹ̀kọ́ tó wà wọ́n mọ̀ ti gbẹ báńkì. wọ́n lè lè mọ àgbẹ̀ lè yàgbẹ́.
Ẹ ṣe gọ́mà.
búrẹ́dì ò dé pa. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o fẹ́ sọ ní èdè ọmọ náà ọdún bẹ́ẹ̀. búrẹ́dì ò ṣe é fẹ́ ìkan séèyàn. ìjáde ọ̀sà bàbà ọwọ́. gbogbo bàbà ní ìsinyìí oúnjẹ wọn ọmọ tó bá 500. ìgbà tó ti ṣe. ẹgbẹ́ ìrìnlẹ̀ ìlú wa ń dùn. ó bá jẹ bó bá ṣàtúnṣe ní ṣàtúnṣe. yóò kí ló bá ṣàtúnṣe ojú yẹn rà.
Ẹ ṣe gọ́mà. Mi ò gbọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀. Lọ́nà òun báwo ni ilẹ̀ bí àjẹ́? Wọ́n yí fọ́tẹ̀. So dọ́là ló wà fẹ́kẹ̀ yìí. Ẹ bá a sọ̀rọ̀ dára. Ẹ jọ pé ọlọ́run. Dọ́là ló wà fẹ́kẹ̀ yìí àbí? Èrè lè gbé balẹ̀ kàtẹ́rẹ̀. Tí ẹ̀yin tó lè wà ní ìfà yìí. Àmọ́ ẹja ṣáwá tẹ́lẹ̀ ìlú ni wọ́n ń ta ṣáwá. Ó ṣáwá ló lè sì tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀. Ìsìnyí nǹkan. Ṣáwá tó kéré jù nìyẹn. Tí wọ́n fẹ́ ra aláàrẹ̀ nǹkan mo láìka aláàrẹ̀ mi ò láìkì ṣáwá. Ó pẹpẹ ọ̀gán ó gbúdọ̀ tó fẹ́ pé màá jẹ́ kọjọ́ bíi mẹ́ta nìyẹn. 4 days lọ́nà wo báwo máa ṣe mẹ́rin náà bá mi dé sí ó yẹ kó pọ̀ gan. Hello 15 márùn-ún ọ̀tọ̀ 500 ajá máa wá ẹ ṣe gan wa.
I make it real and all I see is stars.
You've heard everything that people out there they've got to say. 08159194247, or you go to our YouTube page at AMFM TV. Drop your comment and then let's hear you out your own point of view. You see the bunny issue, and don't forget, many of these market sellers they sell some things. Even though we teased some of them, asking them that maybe it's because the state government is yet to pay the salary. But the salary that the state government has paid since 14th of December, even though before some of them, before they even went on break, even though if you are a school teacher, school closes on 15th of December, and then the salary has been paid by 14th of December. If you tell me that you want to travel, your state government has paid the salary before the vacation of most of these school teachers. And, another person said something about the FX when we talk about dollar to naira price as regard how much are we selling fish, ordinary fish that we eat. And saying if you want to eat a good fish in Nigeria, you will have 1,500 naira. And then that 1,500 naira, they will cut it into 5 pieces, which means a piece goes for 300 naira. So if you go out there to go and buy food, don't blame the woman or the food vendor that is selling food for you that the animal he or she puts on top of your food is very small, because day to day we buy it from someone. You understand? And with all this, see how people are lamenting, see the frustration out there in the sight, in the face. You don't need, we got to a particular place. Every one of them was just like, me too, I want to talk. We're like, how many people are we going to interview for today? But because we just have to, do it randomly. When we get to this talk of the meat seller as well, you heard what he said as regard how much they are selling meat. Even though he said the meat now, no one is buying. The question is, no one is buying fish. The meat seller is complaining. The egg sellers, they are complaining. What are we eating? I don't know. Or is it that, are we eating our food without putting any animal on top? I don't know. I'm not sure. Because, or should we say that people are buying animals? Do you know what I mean by animals? The food carrier, in terms of that fish or meat that you will put on top of your food. And then, because I remember back then in the days, if you are eating without putting any animal on top of your food, you are a chronic poor man, a pauper, a wretched fellow. But now, even though people are eating, because back then you won't be able to eat outside saying, hey, I'm eating. I don't want people to know that there is no fish or there is no meat on top of my food. Though. But now people are eating joyously outside, anywhere, without putting meat, without putting fish. Even though we do eat some in those days, and we will say, oh, let me use beans. If you want to eat rice, you will say, let me use beans to encourage myself. So that beans will serve as protein. Only for us to get to know that the protein itself is carbohydrate, that the bean itself is carbohydrate and not even protein. Well, may God have mercy upon us in Nigeria. But how did we find ourselves here? Wrapping it up from all the way from January. Another person from that place talked about unavailability of cash, the cash flow, the currency in Nigeria. The same way we started in the early 2023, and then we are also on it. We are still going by it in this 2023 as regard people are still on it saying we don't have the cash. And I don't know, something that puts someone behind the bars when we talk about well, we did not blame them. They went to one grandma to buy ink, and then they repainted our naira. When we talk about the 500, 200, and then 1,000 naira, then we didn't blame them, we didn't talk, we didn't say anything. And we just lamented the people that we work naked in the banking hall. They did. The person that we, the people who fought in the banking hall during those era. Now that people have been saying there is shortage of cash, will they still fight again? Maybe there will be a rematch. I don't know. Because I've been thinking, we should be thinking of one thing, that this era too shall pass, and we shall have a new generation. But we are in the modern modern system of life that we are using now, in such a way that technology is everywhere. You are fighting in a banking hall, and the people, everybody is a blogger, vlogger, or as you can name it. There are some people, they will just have it on their phone. Let me go and show somebody at home. The person they show at home, that one will make it go viral, and the likes like that. But here we are. When we talk about a shortage of cash, we've experienced that one in the early period of this year, and then it runs for like 3 months. Well, may the soul of those who lost their lives during that era rest in perfect peace. It wasn't a time that we should be remembering. It was tough in Nigeria for both rich and the poor. In a situation whereby we were asked to put our money in the bank, they want to redesign it, and then those old notes should be taken to the bank. And then if you take old note to the bank, give me the new one. Now, when we say, okay, we don't have the new one, okay, the old note that I deposited, give me back now. At least it is my money. They said, they are now telling me that if my money enter inside PAP, it can never come out again. I was like, So all this causes headache in Nigeria during those era. And the way that anytime our naira just hear the name dollar, usually sing the song of Ololade Asake, you hear Sungba Lajaja Sungba, all those time, you understand? All those things makes the economy of Nigeria to always be at a parallel level, flat, always flat, you understand? And then instead of it to stand tall, to stand firm. But here we are in Nigeria, we still survive it. If we can survive 2020 era during the COVID-19, during the EdSARS, and we survive 2023, I can say it that there is no hardship that can come to Nigeria again that we cannot survive. Let me go on a commercial break. I will be right back. It's still burning issues.
You can reach us on all our social media platforms on Facebook at AIM-FM and TV.
On Twitter at AIM_FM.
On Instagram at AIM-FM_TV.
On YouTube, AIM-FM Radio and TV.
The Aegis Hotels and Conference Center is one and only event place with a clear difference and tasteful excellence here in the ancient city of Ibadan. For your next and upcoming event, whether marriage engagement, wedding reception, anniversaries, conferences, seminars, or birthday, the Aegis Hotels and Conference Center is affordable and fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, power, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aegis Hotel and Conference Center today at kilometer 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road at Kere Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aegis Hotels and Conference Center, where comfortability speaks than words.
Ènìyàn mi lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin, lọ́mọdé àti lágbà, orúkọ mi ni olóyè Dr. Lérèpà Iná Ìdánilọ́lá Mẹ́fà. Mo ń fi àsìkò ìròyìn wípé ẹ máa gbọ́ AIM-FM Radio and TV nígbà gbogbo. Torí pé ẹ máa kọ́gbọ́n bẹ̀, ẹ máa nímọ̀, ẹ máa lóye ní gbogbo ìgbà títẹ́ fi ń gbóhùn méjì, ibi tẹ́ fi ń wù wọ́n gbé fún. You
can reach us on all our social media platforms on Facebook at AIM-FM and TV.
On Twitter at AIM_FM.
On Instagram at AIM-FM_TV.
On YouTube, AIM-FM.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Still burning issues. If you are just joining us, do well to connect with us on our YouTube page at AIM-FM TV. You can see how we are doing live and direct in the studio. And if you want to call in, the studio line is 081-591-94247. That is the studio line to call in to at this very hour. Okay, as we have been saying, one of those things that determines the economy of Nigeria is crude oil as well. I've once asked someone on my show that which one do you think government should focus on in Nigeria? Should we talk about the crude oil, the petroleum, or we should talk about the naira, the stability of our naira, or we should focus on agriculture? So far that agriculture the Ministry of Agriculture still remains the only ministry in Nigeria that functions better in terms of saying they employ every year under all the administrators. When we talk about since 1999 even to date, the statistic shows that the Ministry of Agriculture, but yet here we are still going to bed on empty stomach. We still go to bed on an empty stomach, and then we are still lamenting about the shortage of food. We don't have in excess anymore, and then we've been to the market as well. As the consumers are lamenting that there is shortage of food, so also the sellers, they are lamenting that people did not patronize. Then whose fault? We now angle, those things now dangling and angling on whose neck? We need to really know as it is now. Because if you ask me, I would say it is because the consumers, have the money to go to the market. That is why, they do not patronize the sellers, because it is not possible for the consumer to have the money and eat the money. It is not possible, and the seller cannot eat everything that he or she sells. Are we now saying we are going back to the era of trade by barter? In a system, in a situation whereby I will give you what I have and then you will give me what I need. But what if I have is not what you need? Then how do we do that? Well, also, similarly, someone through the interview said something that they do borrow money in order to get market. Although the interview was in a dialectic language, in our local dialect, that is Yoruba language, but people were able to do what, to pour out their mind. Some, not even some, almost all of them centers the blame on the federal government, saying they need the federal government to come up with an intervention program that will ease the burden, the hardship, and everything that Nigerians are facing generally. But let me tell you something. It is not only in Nigeria that we have inflation in the year 2023. Even though in Africa, Nigeria is the 5th nation to have inflation. And then let me even say this. Do you know that the inflation in Ghana is even worse than what we are experiencing in Nigeria? But what? The 40 million population people did not even make noise as we are making it in Nigeria. Well, if 40 million people make noise and over 200 million people make noise, it is obvious that the voice of 200 million people would be heard compared to that of 40 million people. That is why we are Nigerian anyway. For this year 2023, I would just like to maybe we should just run out those countries with the highest inflation in this year 2023, and then let's see what we can get. Because as it is now, in this year, only God, we believe in and open on God, and then Venezuela is the country with the highest inflation in the world, with an increase in consumer prices estimated at 360% in 2023. That was according to the figure that the IMF published. And it's the 10th consecutive year that the inflation rate in Venezuela is one of the highest on the planet. 10th consecutive year which means since 2013 to date. It's significantly lower than in 2018 when it reached an astronomical value of 65,000%. As of the, there are also 3 other countries. When we talk about Zimbabwe in Africa, Zimbabwe has an increase in consumer prices estimated at 315%, and the Sudan also at 256%, and then we can never forget about almighty Argentina with 122%. We have many of those countries, and then some. Do you know that there are some countries that are yet to survive inflation ever since the era of COVID-19? Since the era of COVID-19, we can never forget. Argentina has theirs. Australia, almost all the countries, they have their own inflation crisis, but they know how well and how best to manage it. If I will ask, is it that this, when we talk about the removal of subsidy that affects us, do we want intervention funds? Do we want grants? And then Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his opening speech that he made mention of, he said something that we know that we have been sweating, and then we will surely sweat more. I don't know how more that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu would like us to sweat, because this sweating is getting much, and then I don't think all of us will be able to do what to cope with the sweating. Burundi has 26.47 inflation rate in 2023. Malawi also with 26.9 inflation rate. And Nigeria, globally, Nigeria is in number 17 with national inflation rate of 27.33%. Even though up to Myanmar with 28.58%, Ethiopia at 29.2%. Pakistan is there at 29.2%, Cuba also at 34.13%, and Ghana at 35.2%. So do you want to compare 27.33% of Nigeria with that of 35.2% of Ghana? Even though the Egyptians, they are also affected, as risen from it rose from 25.8% in January this year to 35.8%. Even though as at October, it has been at 35.8%. And then what causes that of Egyptian's war is that of Russia and Ukraine war. Egypt heavily relied on both countries for its wheat import. What about in Congo too, at 37.6% inflation rate. Iran at 39.2% inflation rate. Even though Sierra Leone at 54.48% inflation rate. Turkey at 61, almighty Turkey at 61.36%, and many more like that. We've talked about Zimbabwe, we've talked about Venezuela, we've talked about Cuba, and many other countries like that. our time is fast spent on today's episode of Bonnie Issue. And the next Bonnie Issue, by the special grace of God, when next we meet, it will be in year 2024, by the special grace of God. Many thanks to everyone in the studio with me. On behalf of the management of MFM TV, it's a compliment of the season. I'm wishing you a prosperous 2024 in advance. And many thanks to Lanre, the man behind the engine, for that fantastic job over there. On our YouTube page, we sincerely appreciate everyone for being part of the show. Adebanjo Adenike say, I will never call Nigerian products local products. The Nigerian products are available, but we are going for imported products. Well, and this person, King Solomon, the country is mess. The country is in mess. People are lamenting. Okay, saying the 2020 COVID era was better than this. At least we know that COVID-19 was okay. At least we know that 2019 was a global case. All right. Many thanks to you. Till next year that we are going to meet again. We are going to meet in peace and not in pieces. Celebrate your festival responsibly. Olusola Ayobami is my name.